I want to discuss something, Mario, and
Mm-hmm.
I really feel if this would have been LeBron James that did this, the NBA world, and this is not a shot at or in defense of LeBron James. It really has nothing to do with LeBron James. I'm just using it as an example because if it would have been LeBron James and he would have did what we saw Jamal Murray do, the NBA world would have flipped.
Mm-hmm.
And instead, the NBA world is kind of just satisfied with Jamal Murray only getting a $100,000 fine, no suspension, even though that could have, I mean, a player could have slipped on it because one of the two things he threw did land on the court. Someone could have slipped, twisted something. It could have changed the momentum of the game. There's a lot of things that could have happened. And then now, on top of that, you kind of set the bar. Like, okay, we can help dictate a game. We can throw something on the courts. We're only going to get fined $100,000. If that could change the outcome and I become NBA champion and it's only going to cost me $100,000, I think it's well worth it in my best interest to take this opportunity and take $100,000 for the team to win a championship. Like, Mario, did we just open a whole can of worms that we should have not been opening in the middle of the playoffs?
All right. Now I can understand where you're coming from, right? I honestly and truly do. You know, that's a valid point that you made. You know, with the series being right now 2-0, you know, the Nuggets going back home, I think the commissioner, not saying he's David Stern, because you already know how Stern would have been, you know, man, rest in peace and all that good stuff.
Would have probably been done for the rest of the series.
Yeah,
that was David Stern.
Yeah, so I can, you know, I can respect the Stern part. You know what I mean? The $100,000 fine is really not big to a millionaire, so that's kind of like just, you know, we don't really count that. I felt like the NBA didn't want to put something bad out there where they'll go down 3-0 and then possibly get swept, or, you know, a gentleman's sweep 3-1 and then go on to the Western Conference Finals. But looking at Murray right now and how he's playing and how Denver's playing against Minnesota, you know, Minnesota, they're playing like they are playing like they're the better team. You know, them young boys are hungry and all that good stuff. So I can feel the reason why 100,000, you know, was just kind of like just thrown out there. He's not a bad player. You know, he doesn't make, you know, Murray, he doesn't do a lot of stuff out the way. You know, you could tell during that game he was upset just because how the game went, the calls, and how they was playing defense around him. So that right there part among frustration right there. So I would give the NBA, you know, a little pass. You know what I mean? It's, you know, nobody got hurt. You know,
Mario.
It was kind of like
Mario.
I understand. I understand.
One, if that were LeBron James and you just got done saying that, you know how ridiculed he would be for the rest of your life. Like, first of all, no, I understand and I agree. The NBA does not want to see your champs down 3-0, and if you suspend Jamal Murray, there's a good chance that you don't have LeBron. You don't have KD, you don't have Steph Curry, and you don't have the Nuggets. Like, I get it.
Yeah.
You just open a whole can of worms. Like, it's not just affecting these playoffs. Now you're affecting future playoffs and what you're ultimately saying what a player can get away with and the possibilities and the slap on the wrist. Like, and I understand nobody got hurt this time, but who would have said when the second, I think it was the second thing he threw, would have, and the player didn't see it, and like it landed when the shot was already shot, and they were going up for rebound, and the player came down and slid, and like there's so many possibilities of what could have happened. We've all been to basketball games. We see the work that the crew puts in as soon as the team goes down together in the court that you don't see on TV, trying to make sure that they don't slip in anything. There's no wet spots. Like the court people that I don't know what their official titles are, bust their butt the entire game and get out of the way. You very rarely ever see them involved or in the way, or an NBA player having to hurl around one of those people mopping or sweeping the floors or whatever, they're dry mopping, whatever. Like, they do a phenomenal job. And there's a lot of work that people don't see to make sure that this court is so the players don't get hurt. And then you have a player in frustration, and you want to say that Denver pleaded, well, he didn't mean to throw it, well, or let go, he was just in frustration. Well, you did it twice. Like, there's no doubt what's going on here. I'm sorry, but there has to be. This has been the word of my house for the last month, maybe 2 months with the kids. There has to be consequences. There's always consequences for things you do or you decide not to do. Kids decide not to do chores. I tell them there's consequences. No, you don't get to drive my car because you've not done what you're supposed to do. No, you don't get to use your phone. Your phone is up for the weekend. There are consequences for you not feeding the cat, or there's consequences has been the word of the house for months now. I'm sorry, but there's got to be consequences. And I know it sounds harsh, and I know as petty as it is, there are so many. There's just the Pandora box that could be opened because of this. You're. I don't know. I just feel that the NBA should have squashed it. The player did not once but twice. Let's squash it now before. That's the way it should have been handled. As harsh as it sounds, and I don't care that it's the Denver Nuggets. Like I'm sorry. The NBA should have squashed it. Like, no, this will never happen again.
Let's go. I wake up to a little bit of drool on my pillow, feel like it's gonna be a bad day. Yeah, I'm tired of shit, and the coffee ain't hit yet, damn, ain't that great. I don't wanna go to work, cause my boss is a jerk, and I'm not even that paid. I need a change in my life, cause I don't feel